Okay, so welcome again, and we are having our class, and I want to know how many of us are reciting PSA? Anyone here reciting PSA?
I am.
Okay, only one. It's very easy to pass
Me,
PSA.
Gloria.
It's
Gloria.
very easy to pass
Thank
PSA.
you.
So I'll solve questions with you actually.
Okay.
Okay, I'll solve questions, but not today. But let's go through this. Um, I'll be solving questions with you, but not today. The questions will be I'll just come and teach you some strategies and the others. So for now, as you're attending your lectures, you're attending your lectures with your lecturer, you'll be going through the explanations. If you've gone through the explanations or the tuition before, it means that maybe if you registered to take the paper again, it means your lecturer is, for you, you are doing revision. I getting it. You are doing revision. So let me take it as if we are all going to write for the first time. ICAG, ICAG always every 5 or 6 years. Every 5 or 6 years. Every 5 or 6 years. Reviews its syllabus. Wow, Gloria. Okay, I believe if you pay attention to what I'm going to say and you do it, you'll be okay. Because for me, as far as I've written ICAG, all the courses has been all the courses I have sat for, I took them one touch, one touch, one touch. If I have my format, my manual, and let's say the lecture notes from the lecturers, wherever I will have it, is one touch. Because the lecturer will do his part as a result of my payment of the fees to him. I getting it. All the courses, CR one touch, FM one touch, MA one touch, FR one touch. I could have applied for exemptions, but I decided to I decided to waive the exemptions and start from level one. Okay, so I just started from level one and I was writing my papers. I needed the format and so I have all the ICAG manuals. Okay, some people come to my desk and ask me I should give it to you. I say, no, I cannot give it to you because I teach. And because I teach, that is why I didn't go for any exemption. So I started from level one and I was writing. So in 2 years, I finished all. I get in 2 years, I finished with all the papers. And I'm going to share with you some of the things I did. PSA, one touch. FM, one touch. CR, level 3, one touch. ATAX, one touch. Audit, one touch. Strategic case, one touch. MAFR, all those people, one touch. I get it because of how I took my time to analyze the ICA terrain or the ICA domain and how I have heard stories about people researching. I mean, I didn't have time. I getting it. I didn't have so much time. Or according to my plan, I didn't want to leave so much space of time. Okay. So one of the things we can do is we shouldn't bundle up courses together. If we have to, I wish I'll share with you the session I had with the general class last week Sunday so that you take your time and you watch it. We talked about how you approach the diet. Okay. The course combinations you have to think of. If you are researching the approach you can go. We talked about how you can use AI. We talked about how you approach questions. I getting it. And I think I spoke about 5 areas. So when we are done with the class, I'll share that link. That Zoom session I had, which I recorded, I'll share it with you. You have time, go through it. It will tell you how you have to approach the whole every diet, and you'll be successful. And you'll be successful. Okay. So for me, consider my circumstance of being a very busy person. Before I even met you now, I was having a meeting with some people. I was training some people on AI tools, how to effectively use AI. So I was training them. It's a boot camp. So I started with them from 7:10 and I ended at 9:15. I told them I had a class. Otherwise, when the time is you will not be able to join. So I was training them. I trained them on technological tools like data analytics tools, machine learning, Python programming, and those. So I was having a session before I ended. So because of that, I hardly have time, and therefore I cannot be lumping up courses together to take for a diet. I get it because of my busy schedules. I work full time. I teach sometimes. Sometimes too, I work full time. I teach, and I also have addition training on different aspects of workplace effectiveness or technology. I get it. So I need personal time for myself and I school as well. So looking at my schedule, I cannot combine three, four, and write. It will be a problem. Okay. So for me, I was always adding writing two by two. Sometimes I'll go for three when I assess that this course I'm quite okay with this one, but these two I have to study very well for this. To in addition to the one, then I can go for three. Okay, but most of my course I've written it two, 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 two to finish everything. Uh-huh. So you can also look at it. If you feel combining three, four courses will be a headache, okay, please don't go for that. But for me, if I should, some courses like somebody who combines strategic case study, FR, strategic case study, FR, strategic study, sorry, CR, and let's say advanced taxation. Maybe the person has time. Me, I don't have the time because I'm really, really packed. So I cannot go in for such an option. And that person could go, he can pass through and fail one, he can pass all, he might fail. That is about him. But for me, I just go according to my pace. So sometimes you feel the course is very difficult and you can spend just one day for only that course, you should have to do it. It's better you sit for that alone, write and pass, or than going to combine two together and you fail all the two. Or you combine two, you pass one, you fail one, that's fine, right? Which is the same as having sat for one and passing one than combining about two courses together, depending on your schedule and your engagements, right and fail. You are losing resources, you are losing your time and a whole lot of things. So when it comes to PSA, let's hope this diet to give it one touch. You can give this diet for only PSA, all right? Can give this diet or allocate or assign this diet for only PSA, and you can buy, and it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. So I'll give you techniques. Now, this is the syllabus of ICAG format. Also the syllabus of ICAG. I get it. Now, this syllabus, every 5 years, ICAG changes the syllabus. So from 2024 to 2029, it is coming with a 5-year syllabus, right? Which is talking about the structure of the exams. The areas are always the same. But the structure of the exams, question one, what questions should we capture under question one? What questions should feature under question two? That is what will change, or those are what will change. So for these 2024-2029 syllabus, which is 5-year syllabus, and in 2030, they are going to change the syllabus. The question one, these are the areas they ask under question one. So sometimes I will go to exams and be like, and I was never expecting this question when they asked it. I was like, how can you say that? You can't say that you're expecting this question to change. No, it doesn't work that way. Why? Because the areas ICA, from which ICA set the questions, they are displayed here. Coverage area in the syllabus. So whenever you hear lecturers saying that the ICA examination covers the syllabus, it means it covers all these areas. Question one, it covers all these areas. Question two, question three, question four, question five. It covers all these areas. So we cannot go to the exams hall unprepared or oblivious of these areas. How can I write PSA and I don't know that the questions will come from these areas? No, they are here. I was searching for my PSA format. When I wrote PSA, the format, I always print the format. And I use the format effectively the month before the month of exam. So this diet, the November is the exam month, but October is the month before the exam month of November. So the month of October is the month where we study. The month of October is like a month of revision. So that is when immediately we enter first week of October or the first of October or the last week in August before October, I start with the format. And the format, I will read every area here. Every area I read. I was searching for my format. I don't know where I kept it. I might have kept it somewhere. Because with the level 3 papers, all of them, I have my format here. I kept all the level 3 papers in an envelope. But the level 2 too, I think I kept it in another, but I couldn't find it. I would have showed it to you. You see that I've marked all of them. I've marked them. I've marked them. Whenever I read, I mark. So the lecture note your lecturer will give you, you should know that this topic, central government, budgetary government, extra budgetary government, is in the lecture notes. So when I pick the lecture notes, I don't know how it's tried. That's why I wanted to see the SMD lecture notes. I would have used that, right, to apply to this format so that we can understand it better. I didn't get the format. I didn't get the SMD lecture notes. So I don't know how it's structured. Okay. So the central government here, you have to find it under, if the question says preparation of financial statements for public sector entities, okay, and always or mostly the question 1 for PSA, it's financial statements is here, preparation of financial statements. I get it. So central governments, how do we compute or how do we work on central governments? We are preparing central government information, local governments, MMDAs, all right? You are preparing state-owned enterprises, right? You are preparing MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. How do we prepare their statements? Are you getting it? We will come there when exams is up. I think I may start in September. Although September too, I will be having my school somewhere else, but I'll still make time and then see how we help, especially the question 1. When students fail, mostly sometimes they said it's the question 1 and the standards. That's where they fail, but we'll see how we can help. So whole government, general government and state-owned enterprises, okay, MDAs. So when you are preparing a financial statement, when it's about the MDA, how do we approach it? When it's about the MMDAs, how do we approach it? When it's about subvented entities, how do we approach them? Are you getting it? So we will come there. So if you are going to write the, what's the name? The question 1 paper, we know their statement. The statement can cover the statement of financial performance, statement of financial position, right? So the statement of financial performance, 4, we have to learn how they appear when it comes to MDAs, MMDAs. We also have to learn when it comes to universities, yeah, the state universities, the subvented entities, and the other ones. Okay, I'm forgetting some of the terms, but forgive me. Okay, we have to learn all. Okay, here MDAs are here. Prepare financial statement for what? Central government. The MDAs are here. Then we have the MMDAs here. You have the non-commercial state-owned enterprises. Are you getting it? So all of them, and it will cover the standards. All of them. So we have to know when we are preparing financial statements. If it comes to MDAs, how is the format? MMDAs, how is the format? The subvented entities, okay, or let's say the public universities, the hospitals, the public hospitals. What is the format? Are you getting it? And if it is a budgetary allocation or whatever, how is the format? If you are reporting, if you are coming to financial reporting structure of the government of Ghana, right? How is the format? So the format is very necessary. There are some acronyms are adopted for MDAs, MMDA. We'll use it when we start the computation. I believe by that time I found the format, my format, the one I wrote on. I wrote all the shortcuts or the acronyms and the links there, which will guide me. So I believe by that time we'll have it ready. And when we start, so we know that question 1 is about statements, financial statements. And the statements, there are about 4 or 5 different statements which we can be asked to work on. So we have to be able to solve questions on all of them. All of them. Why? That question is going for 20 marks. That question is going for 20 marks. That question is going for 20 marks. That's it. So that's it here. Explain with example additional information that may be disclosed about the general government. And we shouldn't forget that this preparing a financial statement, it follows a similar pattern as FR. I good. It follows a similar pattern as FR, but there are some variation because it's public sector. All right. Let's continue. Now, question 2, we should know that question 2, what comes under question 2 is explain and apply appropriate IPSAS, the standards, 20 marks, right? Inventory accounting. So all these, we have to read on them. Inventories are similar to what is in FR, but here there are some variations, okay? Accounting policy and changes in the same as in FR. So that is why most students, when they are writing PSA, they will add FR because when they cover the standards, it covers all this. So you cover the standards once and for all, but for both papers or for both courses, okay? IAS 8, I think there's IAS 8 in FR or CR. Event after reporting period, IAS 10. Effect of change in foreign exchange rates. I get it. Yeah. It's also the borrowing cost IAS 23 is the same standard, the same standards, the same, and they always like asking on borrowing costs a lot, this borrowing cost. So the same standard. So unless your FR is very weak, your standards is very weak, and if the standard is very weak, it means that passing PSA will be quite a difficulty. Also, CR, you are going to meet standards there, right? It means there will be challenging there. So you should know your weak points before the exams. Then you concentrate more efforts on your weakness and improve it. If you know your weakness is the standards, which usually just like FR and CR causes a lot of students to fail or rewrite the paper, then we have to concentrate on the standard because it's 20 marks. I think it's even more. There's another portion where questions on standards are asked. Yeah, I think there's another portion where standards are asked. Yeah, sometimes this is also on standards. Yeah, even this on standard. Or just in purpose of general financial reporting, it's a standard. Okay, so those are standards. So the standards can be mixed through. So we have to pay attention more to where we know our weaknesses. Even the standards, you have to dedicate more time, watch YouTube videos, watch the S&D YouTube videos on standards. Okay, then, and every video the lecturer will teach, please make sure you watch. For me, I never had time to join the sessions in real time. I mean, live. Let's say it's 8:30 and 8:30, everyone is online now. You see me there, you never see me there. I don't have the time because maybe by that time, I'm now returning from work. So I would have a lot of piled up videos, recorded video sessions to watch. I get it. So, but I'll take time and I'll watch all of them because I just want to touch it once and for all. So if standards are my issues, I have to pay attention to them. So for example, before we go and write the exams in November, in October, we should be able to check all these standards, which we think we are better at. We should be able to check all these standards, which we think we are better at. So you have to go through all. And all these lists, they will ask questions surrounding all these lists too, and even on others which are not part. So you have to check inventories. Am I good at it? Yes. Accounting. No, this I'm not so strong. This one I'm okay. This I'm okay. This I'm not. This I'm not. This I'm not. This. So you could see your weaknesses because we all don't know where the questions will emerge from. And some will be theory, some will be computational. So you have to be able to vet to know which of these standards are your weaknesses, which are your strengths. If they are your weaknesses, you have to improve. If you have to check AI, you have to use AI as well. You have to use AI. Today I will use AI. If the standard, the lecture thought is very confusing, you don't understand, that is why we have AI. AI will simplify it for you. So we will try AI before we close. AI can solve similar questions for you to understand. Then you understand what the lecturer was saying. If the concepts are difficult to understand, AI can help you. But the standards, for example, if let's say I was writing FR and I make sure I understood the FR standards. When I come to PSA, it will not be easy. It's not be difficult for me. Standards will not be difficult for me. If I go to CR, standards will not be difficult for me because it's the same accounting standard with different names. the same standards. Here it is called IPSAS. In the CR, the same standards plus additional ones. So those I would read or understand or study, they will not be difficult for me. Therefore, we need to sit and know. If we check all these standards and we know that we cannot even solve more than half, then there's a problem. What if you go to the exam so and they bring them construction contracts, leases, IFRS 16, investment property, IAS 40. They are all standard. PP, IAS 16, provisions, contingent liability, IAS 37, related party disclosures is there, impairment, I think IAS 38 or something, right? Impairment, these two are together. Non-cash generating in the IASs, they are the same. They are for one. We have cash generating and non-cash generating. We just work on them. Okay. Now, revenue for contracts with revenue from contract with customers. Here is revenue for exchange transactions, revenue from non-exchange transactions, budget information in the financial sector. So budgeting, they can have budgeting on here. Employee benefits, IAS 19, Acct, another intangible asset. So you could see that all these are, only a few are not directly accounting standards. Only a few are not directly international accounting standards, but most of them, cash flow, IAS 7, right? Transfer expenses, measurements, right? Now, current asset held for sale. I say IFRS 5 or something. IFRS 5 or IFRS 15. One of them. Again, social benefits. It goes with this employment, similar to employment benefits. I get it. So if you're able to master, if you don't get the standard, maybe we've applied for exemption, so we skipped FR. It's still not late. We can use AI. You can ask AI. I'll give you a prompt on this. I'll take about 2 of the standards and I'll use AI to explain it. You see how AI will give it to me, how AI will explain it to my understanding. It will give me examples and solve examples, and I understand it. Very good. So we know that as we are going to the exam, so we know question 2 is standards, IPSAS. And we try to, let's say we try to stake lottery on which standards will feature, which will not feature. Me, I never took that risk. That I took the better risk of learning everything, knowing everything, and going to the exam hall and writing something. Because I know it's a lot, but when I see the question, it will remind me of something, right? It will remind me of a key element. It will remind me of a principle I learned, which I can write. So please, before we go to the exam hall, we commence the exams in November. We have to be able to check all these. Check all of them and know that we have completed them. Because they said they will start the standards from here. And it's 20 marks. We don't know whether they will take 5 or 4 or 3 or 2. We don't know. So at the end of or before the end of the month of October, we should be able to check all these and know which ones we are okay, which ones we are not okay. I remember writing it and I touched everything on the paper. Means that's why I write my IC. I touch everything. I will touch everything. I set CR where I didn't touch a mark was 15 marks. CR. There was a certain mark, financial statement analysis. CR, 15 marks because of the time. But even that question, I think it's question 4, question 5. The A was the financial statement, it was 15 marks. The B was 5 marks. I touched the B, and this one I couldn't touch it. But when it came, I had even more than 50. So what if I had touched the 15 marks? And I got 7 out of the 15. I would have gotten to some into my 60s. Are you getting it? So another thing else is, if we have the format and we know that the questions will be emerging from these areas, we really can prepare for the exams. Because the examiners within these 5 years, which is the syllabic year, the 5-year syllabic year, the question 2, they will never ask a question which is not a standard. They will never ask a question which is not a standard. Within this question 2, they will never ask a question which is not a standard. They will definitely ask a question which is a standard. Within this question 2, they will definitely ask a question which is a standard. From 2024 to last date, all question 2 questions are standards. We can check. Because that is how the format is going to be for 5 years. And now we have 3 more years before it expires. All right, good. Good. So please, we need to go through. If you don't understand a standard, watch. Let me use today. teaching some of my people. I was taking some people through this AI stuff. Hold on. Now, there are several AIs you can use, okay? We all know a lot of AI, but let me help with some few thoughts. You can use Claude. I use Claude to do a lot of accounting. I use Claude to do a lot. Claude is by Anthropic. We have the popular Chat GPT, which is by OpenAI. They came about with the Chat GPT. You have Gemini. This is for Google. We have Copilots. This is for Microsoft. We have Grok. This is for Elon Musk, right? We have Perplexity. This is for research. So if I'm doing research for master's, PhD, I use Perplexity. So, or undergrads. So whichever one you want to use. Let's say I'm using ChatGPT, which is the popular one. The lecturer has taught inventories in IPSAS. I'm getting confused. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT AI. And they are all AIs, okay? So let's see. So what I'm trying to do is this. I'm taking inventories. The lecturer has taught itself because I didn't understand it. I'm taking inventories. This charts, Copilot on the right, top right corner, charts is for Microsoft. If you want to use it, you can just click on it and you type it over there. But I don't like using it. I like using Gemini, Grok. I like using those ones. So that's why I'm going there. So load. Okay, so this is ChatGPT. Now, watch. Let's be ready. Okay, so watch. As I'm trying to tell ChatGPT it's like a lecturer. As a public sector accounting and finance lecturer or examiner, right? Comma. You are teaching or you are lecturing I'm not using a professional. I'm not using professional. I'm using level 3 because if I say that he's teaching a professional student, already the lecturer, when he explained, he confused me. So I want to understand the concept better. So if I come and say that the ChatGPT should see itself as a public sector accounting and finance lecturer, and I tell that he's teaching a professional, you should assume he's teaching a professional. He will even make it complex, more than what the lecturer did. So I'll say you are lecturing at level 300 undergrad, right? Undergraduate non-accounting students. So that chat would explain the concept which is confusing my destiny properly for me to understand. Because when the lecturer explained it, I didn't understand. The example he saw, I didn't understand. But now I want chat to help me. I also use a lot of chats when I was studying or whenever I'm studying. So I said that chat should assume the role as a word, public sector accounting and finance lecturer. And I'm saying you because he's the lecturer. As a public sector accounting and finance lecturer, you are lecturing at level 300 undergraduate non-accounting students on IPSAS. It knows what IPSAS means. IPSAS. On inventories which is one of the IPSAS in public sector accounting and finance. In public sector accounting and finance. I getting it. Explain to the level 300 undergraduates, non-accounting students, right? Inventories. Now, please watch. Following the following pattern. The pattern is whenever in accounting, we want to, or let's say if I'm teaching a standard, I will look at one, the objectives and scope. 2, we'll teach on terminologies, some terminologies we want to understand. 3, we'll teach on the recognition and criteria. 4, we will teach, or I'll teach on presentation in the financial statements. Presentation in the financial statements. Then 5, I'll teach on disclosure. Right? So use simple to complex examples. Use simple to complex practical examples. Are you getting it? So here, it's just on the inventories. And I can use the same for any other standard. I'll just copy the inventories out and put the standard in. If I should first ask chat to just explain inventories without giving it the scope, without giving it the context window, without giving it the boundaries it should work within, it will give me a general interpretation. To give me a general, let's try it and see. Let me copy this. Let me take out all this. Assume I didn't tell it you should speak on the objectives. Let's see how it would work on it. It will even make it complex. It will complicate the whole process. You see, what is inventory? So it will just be this how it will describe it. And professionally, no one will ask you a question like this one. It will write plenty. We'll get confused. So you must always restrict it to the way standards are approached. So if I'm teaching standards, I'll first start. Let's first talk about the objectives of inventories. Let's talk about the scope. Let's look at some terminologies. Let's start with the recognition and measurement criteria. Let's start from there. So by this, and this is how everyone teaches standards globally. So when you go by this, it will be able to do it. It will take it one after the other, compared to what it just did here with plenty things which will confuse us. We will not even understand them. But when you go by this method, we'll see how it will be. Now, don't do anything else. Watch. This chart. You can use Gemini, you can use Grok. Have you seen how I started it? IPSAS 12, inventories. Compare it to the first one I gave. The first one is very confusing. You don't even know what it's trying to do. Let's look at the first one. It just started. Inventories under IPSAS. It was just stating anything. But when I told it, I restricted it to the context, the boundary it should work within, which follows the way I'll teach every standard, which is the way every standard is taught. Is that IPSAS 12? Define what inventories are, right? Then we start the objectives and scope, because why should it be this way? Every standard, the objectives and scope are theories. We can be asked in a case study or state the objectives of IPSAS 12, state the recognition criteria, state the measurement, the subsequent recognition, or whichever way it is. The main objective of IPSAS 12 inventory is to explain all this in simple terms. So all this is what the lecturer has spoken about. But these simple terms, my lecturer never said it, or he may say it, but I didn't get it. But here in simple, he's just trying to define them again. The scope, what it covers. Example is MDAs, MMDAs, public universities, government hospitals, like we're saying, public schools, other public sector organizations. And these areas are where the statements or the financial statements cover. Here. The question 1, they cover these areas. If it's an MDA, how do you go about MMDA? One is a public university, one is a government hospital, one is a public school. How do you approach it? Okay. Examples of inventories here. Important in distinction. Now it's trying to make sense. Now terminologies held for sale. So we're just trying to define them for us with examples, assets, define all the terminologies, carrying amount, which I'll be using just like FR. Okay. Current replacement costs and everything. Net NRV, write down, inventory consumption. Now it comes in recognition and measure. This is what the computation is. And I said I should give me examples which are from simple to complex examples. So it will do examples, explain, calculation. We can't afford to fail. It just takes a lot of time, but you can do it. It takes a lot of time, but you can do it. I get it. Then it will finally come to, these are all examples is given. As you give me simple to complex. How do we present in the FS? Financial, just like FR. Current assets, cash, receivables, inventory. When it's a government university, right? That's how inventory consumed. You see? So please, we can use chart a lot. So as soon as I want to use it for accounting policies and changes in accounting errors, I'll just copy the same, what is it? I'll copy the same, it's called prompts. Prompt. I'll copy these same prompts, right? Paste it in a new chart here. Then in this chart, the only thing I'll change is the IPSAS. What particular standard? Inventories. I'll go and copy this. Accounting policies and accounting estimates. Copy it. Go to the charts and replace inventories with the accounting estimates. That's it. Here's it. So if you are confused about the standards, let me paste this prompt in the chat. You can copy it and keep it somewhere in your email or somewhere else you need it. So when it gets there and you are getting confused, just copy this one and change any words you want to be changed. That's all. You are good to go. Chats. Okay. So this is a prompt. You are good to go. Let me paste it here in Word also. So please, that's how you go about them. If you don't understand anything, if you just go and type it that explain accounting policies and charges in accounting estimates and errors, he will go and use the FR. Meanwhile, you need it for IPSAS, and the IPSAS follows the same steps we use to compute every standard. That is the objectives and scope, terminologies or definitions. We go to the recognition and measurement criteria. We go to the presentation of finances. We go to the disclosures. The same, all this. They will link them to IPSAS. If there's a question which you don't understand, we can know how to solve it here. Okay. Okay. So that's question 3. Now question 2. Let's look at question 3. Explain and illustrate the public PFM. Okay. So here. Explain the public financial management cycle in Ghana, including the flow in planning, budget preparation, budget execution, revenue expenditure, control, cash, record keeping, accounting. These are all theories. So budget planning could be somehow, some few calculations, somehow. But most of them, budget preparation could be somehow, some calculations. Most of them. So please, you can touch it once and for all, you pass. If you go by this, I wish I searched for it. I wish I would have showed it to you. You see that I'm just checking everything. I'll check this. It means I've studied it. I'll write short notes against them. I'll check this. After I write some acronyms against it. I'll check this. I'll check this. Let me show you the way I did for CR. Watch. CR. I showed it to this CR case study. Watch. I print the format. I have the format from level 100, from the level 1 to the last level. I have all the formats. So watch. You see the way I did CR. This CR. That's how I did it to my, what's the name? The PSA. Let me increase the font size for you to see. Watch. You see CR. This is question 2 standards. FR question 2 standards. PSA question 2 standards. They are just like siblings. Here, question 2 standard. So you will see this here, the way I study the standards, all the green mark. You see I've written L3, they're all level 3 standards. I learned all of them, right? And then the FR 16 is level 2. The other ones are level 2. And level 3 are all those I've written L3 and marked green. I studied all of them. They are about 9 or 6. I learned all of them. Then the other red ones, which I checked, are all level 2 standards. Because in CR, question 2 takes 30, standards take 30 marks. 30 marks. So if a student should fail question 2, it means question 3A, which is also a standards question, you will fail. Question 3A, here. Question 3A is also standards here. This is also standards. So question 2 is taking 20 marks. The whole question is 20 marks, standards. Then question 3A is also taking 10 marks, standards. So in total, how many? 30 marks. There's even another portion, which is another 5 marks for standards. So if the student is not ready for standards, he will fail. He will fail. I get it. That is why, as I said, when I was writing my CA, this question 5, in fact, I didn't try the question 5, but I passed because I had very strong hold of the standards. When I need it was 35 marks, the way I studied it, because if I fail standards, I'm doomed. Because it's taking 35 marks out of the 100%. Where is it? Let me show you. Here. I didn't do this. This question, I didn't solve it. This question, I didn't solve it. This question. Financial position and performance using range of financial analysis. That's analysis of financial. I didn't type this question. 15 marks. So when I go to the exam, so I knew 85% was my destiny. So whatever I got above 50, which was about 50, it was that figure over 85%, but I know 50%, 15% was gone. Why? Because there's another standards question. There's another standards, 5 marks. So even for CR, you are having standards to be 35% out of the 100. So how many marks does the student have to pass? That's about 65% to pass. So if the student is not able to tackle 35% or even the standards and have about 20 here, that's when he will fail. I lost 15 marks by a part because the assignment takes 35 marks. I dealt with it. And I'm showing you how I use the, what's the name? The format. The format has been always my key. Because they said the areas from which they will set the questions are here. So why would I be looking elsewhere, taking trial questions from other institutions? And no, I don't have time for that. The same thing the lecturer has taught. That's what I'll be working on. I get it. So let's go through and let me give you some other strategies. You pass. If you go by what I'm trying to say, you pass. Let's go. So this question 3, we know question 3. These are the questions which will feature. Any of these can feature. So I cannot go to the exam hall and be surprised about a question which will feature. I'll be like, I wasn't expecting this when they brought it. So you weren't expecting. So which one were you expecting? They've given us the areas from which they will say the questions. So I'm expectant of anything here and that question 4 should show up. And I'm prepared for them because I've read. If it's reading, I've read. If it is calculation, let's say question 1, if it is calculation, the same questions your lecturer will solve with you. Those questions the lecturer will solve with you. Solve those same questions repeatedly. Don't bother yourself about other past questions. I hardly solve other past questions outside what the lecturer solved with us in the class. The lecturer should solve this question and this question. That's all that I'm going to solve. I'll practice that question or those questions so I'm able to solve them on my own. Because I'm able to solve them on my own. Assuming the lecturer solved the question on MMDAs. How to prepare financial statement for MDAs. And he was explaining the steps. Immediately he finishes it that same week, I'll pick the same question and I'll solve it like 3 times. So how do I solve it 3 times? The first step, right? I'll read a question and be solving it, referring to the solution of the lecturer because it's the first attempt. How did he do it? He did it this way. Okay. The second attempt, I will solve it on my own. When I get stuck on the way, I'll run to the solution of the lecturer and make a reference. Look at the way he solved it and come and solve it again and then continue solving it. The third time, I would not look or refer to the lecturer solution. I'll solve the same question again the third time. Then when I finish the third time, I'll mark my work against the lecturer solution and I'll see my performance. If I want to solve it for the 4th time, fine. Then I'll solve it again for the 4th time. That one, straightforward. I don't want to make any mistakes. By the time I solve the same question about 3 times or 4 times, bring any question on MDAs. I will approach the question. I may not be able to get it correct, but I'll finish the format. I'll touch everything. but I'll may get it wrong. It will not balance. And I'm not talking about balancing. When I was writing PSA, it never balanced, but I finished the format. I finished everything. Are you getting me? PSA, I finished everything. Are you getting it? So when you're able to solve it using the three-stage approach, first looking at the way, that's your own time. When it's your own time, you pick the same question the lecturer solved, and then you read the question, look at the way he solved it, then try to emulate it. That's the first one. Okay, he was like this. He said, you first do this, you come and do this, come and do that. That's the first stage. The second stage, solve the same question on your own because you've seen how he did it for the first time by doing your revision. Solve it again for the second time. When you think you are stuck somewhere at the second stage or the second attempt, refer to solutions and come back. The third step and continue with the stage 2. The stage 3, don't refer. Take the same question, solve all. When you finish, mark your solution against the solution of the lecturer. Then you see what you are getting through. If you wish to do it again for the fourth time, because now you've marked yourself, you've seen your corrections, fine. But at least if you're able to go for these 3 stages, you'll be fine. That's how I was doing it. The question is on MDAs, because I know that question 1 is MDAs, MMDAs, public universities, government hospitals, and others. So when the question is on this is how he solved it. That's the way I'll solve it. And I believe he will solve with you about 2 or 3 questions on MDAs, 2 or 3 on MMDAs, 2 or 3 on public universities, 2 or 3 on hospitals. And you should be able to solve all because you know definitely one of them will feature in question 1, 20 marks. So we cannot afford to fail. And it's a hard work. In fact, it's very hard work. It's not easy, but you can do it. And it will also help you to understand the concept so well. So whatever question he will solve with you, me, PSA, I was not attending what's the name? The theory classes. So those grammar, I didn't have time. But I didn't do my PSA at SMD. I guess when I was at the main campus. So whenever he was doing the theory, I never attended the class because they said, before they met him, I can read and understand. But when it came to the calculation and the budget planning and others, I was seated. And when you solve the question, you solve it again. Because you have to have mastery over the whole thing. And don't bother, like I'm saying, to go and solve other past questions. In fact, all the questions he's solving as examples are all past questions. So if he solved 2 under MDAs, 2 under MMDAs, 2 under public university, 2 under public hospital, 2 under whatever, NGO, whichever way he will solve it, he would have solved about 10 past questions. So if you're able to solve all those 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, you have about 10 past questions gone. That's how we have to approach it. Question 3, we are done with this side. Question 4, evaluate the financial position and performance. Yeah, here budget, performance, and code. Right, evaluation, grammar and computation. Explain, grammar is theory. Ratio analysis, the same way, common size and code, they could be there. Efficiency ratio, short-term solvency, there's borrowing to assets ratio, working capital. You have to learn how to solve all this. Compare the roles, strengths and weaknesses, and practical use of accounting ratios, KPIs, benchmarking exercise in the public sector. These theories. Okay, compare the role and strengths. Or there can be theories related to the ratios. Demonstrate the importance of exercise professional skepticism, auditing, in analyzing and interpreting financial position. This theory. So if I pick the lecture note of S and D, when it comes to financial position or financial statement analysis or evaluation of financial position or performance of the public sector, all these areas will be captured in the notes. So when I pick the lecture notes, recognize limitation of public finance, I know it's in the lecture note, I'll take it. If it is not in the lecture notes, you don't also have the ICAG manual, use AI. Is that very good? Is that very
Yes.
good? Yeah. If it's not in the lecture notes or the way the lecture notes are explained, you are confused, please use AI just to save us from any trouble. Just use AI. So let's watch. Let's assume I'm using AI here. Why is this not working? Hold on. Oh, okay. So watch, I'm copying this. Assuming this, I don't know. It's not in the lecture notes. Recognize the limitations of public financial information in meeting users' needs. Recognize. I'm copying this. Copy. Come to AI. Like the way we are doing it. Paste it. I pray chat will not say my time is due. So recognize the limitation of public financial information in meeting users' needs in accordance with public sector. Because if I just paste that without restricting it to the area or the subject, it would give me a general information, which I'm not interested. In accordance with public sector accounting and finance, right? According to the ICAG syllabus. It knows what ICAG stands for because it knows I'm in Ghana. So watch. Assuming the lecture notes confuses me. Oh, sorry. Let me refine the prompts. Sorry. I want it to make it very simple. Okay, this is it. Limitations of published financial information in meeting users' needs. In public sector accounting and finance, public information refers to the financial information. Examples include this, it will explain it. If I finish, I can ask you to give me, it will explain like a full note, right? It will explain it and you understand everything. And remember that this very question, this area is a theory. It's a theoretical part. Okay. So if AI should give me the information, then I'll come and check here that I've read it. I'll come and check here that I've read it. Explain the scope of financial statement analysis, provided useful information regarding financial. If it's not in the yesterday lecture notes, explain its theory. I'll just highlight, copy, and go and paste in AI. And I'll limit it to IPSAS or PSAF, public sector accounting and finance. And it will just do it for me to explain. I'll say explain it to like a level 3 undergraduate student who is not an accounting student. Then it will break it down for me to understand it, and I'll read everything. I'll read. Sometimes when I prompt the AI for a question and I copy and paste it in Word, it could be like even 4 pages. I'll read everything because I need to understand. All right, good. So that's how we are going about it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Let's continue and see what we have. So that's question 4. Question 5, explain. And since 2024, all question 5 has been the same. All the questions under question 5 have been coming from these areas. I can bring a past question, last diet, last 2 diet, last 3 diets. We go through them. You'll see that they are all emerging from the same source. All these are theories, 10 marks. These are also theories, 10 marks. So assuming this 10 marks here, you're able to score 5. All these are theories. You're able to score 5 here. And here you score 5. You have 10, right? So 10, you need how many more to pass? We need 40. So this evaluate 10. Let's say you score 10, 20. This element of planning is 20. Let's say you score another 10, 30. We need 20 more to pass. Let's say question 2, you score 10, 40. Let's say you score 10, 50. You've passed. And you can score more than that. Because some people are very good at theories. And the public sector accounting, question 1 is computation. Question 2, the standards could be computation or theories. They mix them up because it's 20 marks. Question 20, question 3 could be computation, the budget planning analysis, 30, computational theory. So we can approach the exam or we know question 4 is, which question 5 is all theories. Question 5 is all theory. And somebody could even score 15 over 20 there because the person has read each and every element here. The person has read everything here. The person has read everything there. He knows the questions from the very areas from which the questions will emerge. The person is aware of it. Very good. So that's it. We can't afford to fail. Let's visit Google and check some of the ICAG questions. Just one, and then we'll be done. So whenever the lecturer solves the same question, you can sit pick the same. You have to pick the same questions and solve them again. For me, that's what I think it will be okay. But if you feel you've understood and you don't practice, or if you feel you've understood until you practice, you cannot confirm if you understood. So we have to practice. So until we practice, we cannot confidently say we've understood so when it's computational, when the course is computational, we have to do calculations until we practice and solve it until we are able to solve it on our own. I'm sorry. We cannot say we can solve the questions or we are confident about solving the questions. Icag pass questions and answers. Let's watch. Let me take March 2026. They all follow the same format. I'll open March 2026 and November 2024 because that's when the new syllabic year commenced. Okay, so March 2026, public sector accounting and finance. Please, you can pass. This one, you can easily pass. Let me open another tab. So Google, go to Icag, pass questions and answers. So this is March 2025. The first one is March 2026. Let me pick November 2024 when the new syllabus commenced. The new syllabus commenced. Let me pick it. So watch. Let's read some of the examiner's comments. Watch this. Please watch this. Watch this. Point 2. Please watch. Watch carefully. Point 2. It says inadequate coverage of the syllabus. Why? Some students, they don't even know where they're like, where are the questions from? They don't know that the format is where is the source of the questions. They don't know. A significant number of candidates, this is March 2026, just this beginning of the year, the first quarter. A significant number of candidates appear to focus narrowly on selected areas, which is wrong. Oh, I was expecting those, they didn't feature. Why should you expect something out of the blue? No. They've given us a format. It's here. So I'll never go to the exams or not knowing which questions will not come. I know because they said question 1. These are the areas under question 1. I'll study all of them. I can show you for Itax. I can show you for strategic case. I can show you for all of them. I have all the formats. I'll check for the PSA. Then maybe before we start solving the questions, I'll show it to you. Every time I print it, and I'll be in the month before the month of exam, the first day of the month before the month of exams. That is when I begin with the format because it's revision. I'll read all the theories, the calculations. The lecturer has already solved the calculations with us, illustrations, or you have solved examples of past questions of the calculable parts or computational parts with us. So when I'm reading and I get to the calculable part, I'll just go and pick the lecturer's past questions he solved with us and solve them again. That's all. I only go and bother myself and go to this ICAG website with some solutions the examiner has given, which will take me many years for me to understand. I don't have the time. Because the lecturer has selected some questions he has solved with, which are all past questions. For this particular, let's say it's question 1, solve them. When I go to question 2, the standards the lecturer has solved, I'll pick all of them and solve them again. If they are not clear, I'll go to AI to help me understand it. You see? So you see, inadequate coverage of the syllabus. A significant number of the candidates appear to focus narrowly on selected areas. Oh, my sound is good, though. I think you should check your place. Okay. Selected areas, particularly financial statement preparation, while neglecting other parts of the syllabus. They were only concentrating on question 1. And they've denied or they've neglected the IPSAS and the budget planning analysis and budget preparation and all of that, they've neglected them. How can you pass on only 20%? If you want to know which areas there are poor or the leakage of questions, where do you think the questions will leak from, is here in the format. But since we cannot tell exactly which one is, neither can lecturer himself tell, right? We have to study everything. Some people were not adequately prepared because they covered a selected portion of the syllabus, thinking that those areas will be the fruitful and productive areas to yield the questions, which was never the case. Weak application of the IPSAS. They don't pay attention to the standards. Many candidates demonstrate insufficient practical understanding of IPSAS. We are really affected, and this IPSAS is the same as the IAS, just that the names differ and some slight changes. Okay, difficulty with classification and the chart of accounts. So these are some of the weaknesses. Poor time management. They don't write quickly, or they don't have a strategy of writing quickly. We also learn about that when we start solving the questions. Okay, inadequate preparation. Sometimes you know that this course is consuming a lot of your time. It's really exhausting you. Then you go and combine 2 more courses. Maybe. Why? Okay, you go and combine 2. You know you are busy. Maybe you are a mother, you are a wife, you are an employee, and you are just write according to your pace. Because if you want to double up with 3 courses, please then you should be ready to study more. For me, like I've shared with you earlier, my engagements were so many. I was working full-time, or I worked full-time. I was teaching. Weekends, I go and teach. Then I'll be attending lectures, and I was having training. Like I was having training for some people before our class presently, right? And I'll be having other engagements as well. So it's a whole packed schedule of mine. So I just go for. We'll finish soon. Okay. So please just know your schedule and abilities and gradually. Some people can combine 3, 4. It's okay. They are not busy like me. I can't go there. And for me too, I study very detailed because I teach. Are you getting it? So inadequate preparation. In some cases, candidates' responses reflected minimal preparation and weak grasp of fundamental concepts. Weak grasp of fundamental concepts. Given the rigorous standards of ICAG exam, rigorous standards, the syllabus, that's what they are saying, of ICAG examinations, candidates who are insufficiently prepared are unlikely to succeed. If we don't know that these are the areas they will set the questions from and I should prepare for all of them, we will fail. Because some people, let's say they are from degree, right? And degree, we all know how academia is, let's say undergrad or graduate school. I teach some of them, especially at UPSA. And some of them, when the semesters are, they are not serious. They only become serious when exams is the next month and the last week. They will be relying on tutorial questions. Tutorial questions are like set of questions from which the examiner will pick, copy and paste some in the main exam questions. So that's what they rely on. So they don't study. If it is IE, interim assessment, they will run and go and prepare and go and write the IE. The lectures can be favorable to them, right? And give them some marks and then when you get into exam, after the IE, they don't study. When you get into MBA students, when you get into exam, that's when you see them making mad rush. I get it. But when we bring the same attitude to this ICA, we will fail. That's why I'm saying that we don't start aggressive or rigorous preparation in October, whereas we have exams in November. We have to start somewhere in September. Let's say August, we are going through the course to see what the lecturer will cover. Immediately we enter September, serious studies will begin, revising all the lecturer has taught, going over them again. And in October, we begin with the format. That one, you don't even have to, no television, no party, no funeral, no. Seriously on the format, because next month is the exam. And the format is the source from which the questions will be taken from. Is the source from which the questions will be derived. So I can't waste time when it gets to October. From September, I start to revise all the lecture taught in August, and I'll be attending the lectures. And even if that you can't join the live, that's not a problem. Make sure the recorded sessions, you watch them. You understand. You can use chat and that you will be okay. You can even send a lecturer a message to explain. They will explain it to you. I get it. So if you cannot join the live, I never joined live session. I joined once when I was writing FM with SND. And I was even that time, sometimes at the point in time, I stopped because I wasn't catching it up, my network and this and that. So I had to now concentrate on the videos. But I ensured I watched all. So if you were not able to take part in a live session or a real-time session of the classes, ensure you watch the recorded videos because you have to touch it once and for and go. We don't have to touch it and come back again. And it requires a lot of work. So this diet, if you want to concentrate on PSA, fine. Or you can register for your 2 courses, including PSA. Then, if it comes to, how should I put it? If during the preparation of the registration for the main exams, you can choose to go for only PSA and write it, depending on your preparation level. Or the 2 courses you registered or the 3 courses you've registered. But if you've always had issues with PSA, which you can easily pass, which I believe, then you have to sit up properly and prepare. It's also a first time. If you go by this strategy, please, one touch, you pass it. I think I had,
Can you share the syllabus with us after the session?
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay,
I think
thank you.
PS, I had 65 or 66 or 67. One touch. And let me tell you, I didn't do accounting in high school and university. I didn't do accounting in university. Though
Wow.
with my qualification, I've applied for exemptions. I didn't do accounting in university. I didn't do PSA. PSA, my first time of doing PSA was in SND, professional level, and I got 67. How did I do it? That's what I'm showing you. That was I didn't do it in university. I just, the first time I typed PSA, because I didn't want to apply for exam because I want to teach, I want to be a CA. I like teaching accounting. I want to teach accounting. So from level 1, I just started writing the papers. But I want to understand from the bottom to the top, everything. And that's it. And PSA, that was my first time of knowing PSA, MMDS, how to prepare for MMDS. That was my first time. I just wrote this once and for all and I went. How did I do it? That's what I'm showing you. The format, the syllabus. It says that many students, they are not adequately prepared. Inadequate coverage of they don't cover the syllabus. They just go and do some few points like we are ready for PSA. So it's like they bring let's say the undergrad or the MBA level, they bring it. This is a professional, so it's very detailed. It's very, very deep. It's very, very deep. So we have to put in more effort. We know ourselves if during undergrad or during masters, we're not so much good at PSA. But although we have graduated, we have our sets, then here we have to really sit up because it's a professional paper and it covers, and all this covers the ICAG PSA manual, the study text. They all cover. So you could see, if you want evidence that they cover, let's look at this. I'm using yellow. Let me clear everything first. So watch. That's how you will see they cover everything. The examiners cover everything. Let me use green. This is D. So what letters come before D? A, B, and C. So let's watch. This is D. This is C. That's how the syllabus in their manual, that's how they've captured the C. This is A. So they have A, B, C. We've seen A, C, D. This is E. This is B. Right? This is F. So it's up to 6. A, B, C, D, E, F. That's how, if you pick their manual, that's how they've written them. So the lecture covers A to F. And they've said it covers everything. It covers everything. Are you good? So please, this is how we have to go. And you'll be okay. So let's continue with what he said here. Inadequate preparation. So look at question 1. Below is a list of transactions obtained from the financial records of what? The CG of the year. So look at something. If you want to approach this question, it's consolidated fund of Ghana, right? We have the MPs, the common fund, and that the consolidated fund. Consolidated fund, there's an approach to it. So if you come to when you get to the exam hall and you're presented with the question papers, please, within the 15 minutes, don't read anything here. Don't read anything here. Don't read anything here. Within the 15 minutes, don't read anything here. Where you read, don't read anything here. Don't read anything here. When you are presented with the document, the first 15 minutes, you go and read requirements. This, you read it for all the papers, all the questions. If you can solve the question, it is the requirements. The requirements, I can also here prepare cash flow statements, right? So when you come and read the requirements, it says cash flow. So cash flow statements, what are the first three things that come to your mind? OIF, right? Operating, what's the name? Investing, financing. If it's the same here in IPSAS, we go through. If it's not the same, we see what to do. Are you getting it? If it's the same approach, if it's not,
Yeah.
then we go through another process to get it done. Very good. Oh, cash flow statement is the receipts and payments, right? Right? Or
Yeah.
the like the IE7. Okay, I think the IE7 one. That's cash flow. All right. So when you come and write it here, okay, that's here. So in standards is IES 7. In IPSAS is IPSAS 2, cash flow statements, and the current chart of account, right? So if you know it is cash flow statement, the same approach as this, OIF, operating. Let me finish it quickly. Okay. So please, within the 15 minutes in the exam hall, don't read, when I present the question, don't read anything. Just read the requirements for all of them. All the questions, just read the requirements. Okay. When I come here, here. When I come to question 1, we see that it's statement, the same way as the format says. It's a statement. They are preparing statements, all of them. Prepare extracts. Prepare this, prepare this, prepare this. Finally, a single entity from a given scenario, consolidated financial statement, all of that. Okay. Now, the next one, the requirements. Question 2, don't read anything here. Don't read anything here. Don't read anything here. And that question 2. Come and read the requirement. If you can solve the question, it's here. That's what IPSAS for the releases, who is like IFRS. Is it 16? 16. Similar. Similar. Right? The standards. How many marks? 10 marks. Standards here, 10 marks. They come down here. Other standards. B. Don't read anything here. The 15 marks, don't read anything there. Don't read anything here. 15 marks. Come and read here. Here. It's also another standard. 20 marks. Explain how land should be treated. Right? In the books of the agency, 2. This 8, 10 marks. So you see, question 2 is standards, just as we saw here. And this is March 2026. If I should pick the November, it's the same approach. Let's see November. What's there in question 2? You see here to statement. It's the same. Here it's a hospital. As soon as I see it's a hospital, I just come and read the requirements. What should I do? Statement of financial performance, statements, 20 marks, fully 20 marks. There are some theories. Explain events after the, see, they've mingled standards. So yeah, they are making standards about 30 or so questions. So if you don't know the standards, you are gone. Question 2, let's see whether it's on standards. Here, calculate the cost of the land and buildings with structures to be brought into the books. Maybe IS 16, maybe IS 40. That's it. Show the extracts. That's I say, whenever you're solving standards, presentation, the presentation of the financial statement, that's the extract here. Are you getting it? Here. So that's question 2. This November 2024. That's when they started with this format. Then IPSAS, related party disclosures. It's like what's in FR or CR. Also, how many marks? This 10. So 10 plus 10, 20 marks. So it's the same. It will not change until 2029 November. That's when it will change. Then they will change and bring a new format. That one, they could say standards will be in question 4. Or standards will be in question 5. But for now, till 2029 ends, this is how the format is going to be. So in exams, when you are presenting the question, don't read the passage. You don't have time. You have to read all the requirements. This, you come and read here. When you come here, don't read all of this. Come and read here. So that from here, you select your questions and everything. Are you getting it? Then here, you come and read here. You see, when you come here, you come and read here. That's it. Or if you can solve the questions, the requirements. So by the time you check all the requirements within the 15 minutes, you know which one you are beginning, which one you are not beginning with. Then if you have some, after running through all of them, don't read anything. Because here, the most difficult parts are this. Question 1 is quite difficult. It's not that difficult, but it's quite difficult in a certain sense, right?
It's
Because
part.
you have to read everything here and then come and read the additional information. So after running through all the, what's the name? After running through all the requirements and knowing which areas the questions are emerging from, which of course they will emerge from the format, then you come to the question 1, quickly running through this, right? You run through the figures here, and then you go through the additional information. You run through the figures here and you go through additional information. Additional information. I get it. You go to additional information. So you understand the concept. If there is more time, you come and pick one of the standards here and be going through some of them, or you can start answering some of the other questions on the question paper. So when they say start work, you know that you are beginning with question 2 as number 1. You know that your question, we are then from question 2A, which is this. Maybe you cannot do question 2B. How many marks? 10 marks. You leave like 2 pages for it. You move on to the next one. Question 3. You start with question 3. If question 3 is the next one you can solve, you start with question 3. Then you solve your question 3A. That's also 10 marks. If question 3B is a problem, you just leave it 1 page or 2 pages, move on to question 4. Then you just start, make sure you touch everything. So after you touch all that you can solve first, then you come back. Those ones which are quite difficult, you now be taking time to examine them. Okay, question 1B, and mostly, you have to do this one last. This one, you have to do this one last, mostly, if you wish. You have to do this one because it takes a lot of time. So assume I want to solve question 1 last, and I began with question 2A. I couldn't solve question 2B. And I know I can, here 20 marks, I know I can give myself, I can score 10 marks. You let me give myself the maximum, 10 marks. The maximum I can give myself is 10 marks. And this one must be solved last. So if I know this one must be solved last, will I spend so much time, and it's 20 marks, will I spend so much time on question 1, question 2A? I'll solve question 2A, the best I could do. I don't have the brain to think so much. I'm just stating the criteria, formulas, whatever, I'm writing them down. If I can't solve question 2B, I'll leave 2 pages. Based on the requirements. 2B, let me do 2 pages. 1, 2. I move on to question 3. I move on to question 3. If I can solve question 3A, if question 3A is a challenge, I can't solve it. But I can solve question 3B. Then I'll come and solve question 3B. Looking at question 2, 6, 10 marks. I'll leave 2 pages for the question 2, question 3A. We'll finish soon, okay?
Okay.
So please, that's how you do it. You know, we are going to mostly solve question one last. Well, it takes a lot of time. So if I know I want to solve question one last, I don't spend my time. Those are questions I see, and it will require further thinking, further reason before I put them. I'll just leave and move on, move on, move on, move on. Before you realize you've touched every question. Even if you've not typed them fully, you've touched question 5A, you've touched question 4A, you've touched question 3B, you've touched question 5B, even question 5 is theory, you can answer everything. Can finish all the question 5. Then when you finish the question 5, you come back and check those other questions you feel there were issues, right? Maybe when I finished question 5, when I was in question 5, I remembered how to solve question B. Question 4, I solved the A and I left the B. When I was doing question 5, I remembered how to solve the question 5B, 4B. Then after question 5, I'll come to question 4B, fill it in because I've left space about 2 or 3 pages for them. If after writing your answers, you let space and move forward, and after finishing your answers, there was a space, a full blank space, you cross it. You use your pen to cross it over. That's all. Or you can leave it blank. The examiner will cross it for you. No marks deducted. Then you go and so after you finish, you see that you've touched all the 5. You've touched all question. You know question 1 is the last one. You start from question 3, went to question 2, and then question 3 you couldn't solve, or you left blanks for the B, and you did the A. Question 4 too, you could solve the B. The A you couldn't, so you solve question 4B first. Then the second one, which is the A, you write A, leave it 2 pages, move on. Move on. By the time you know, because it's very easy to pass public sector. I get it. You go by that method. Then when you finish everything and you come to the question 1, question 2, and realize that those pages, oh, they are quite difficult still. When you reason you are not getting it right, then you go to question 1. You pay attention to question 1 really carefully. I'll show you how you do it. It shouldn't balance. So what makes question 1 difficult is the standards. That's all. It's like FR. They'll bring some crazy, mind-boggling, you think and think standards, and well, please. Just do anything. You can't, me, I'm not there to score 20. I need 50% to pass. So you're giving me 20. And I was okay, 20. What if I score 15 and go away? Or I score 10? That's all I need. Then I went for the grammar, the question 5, which are all theories, or the question which contains all the theories. It is 20. I'm aiming for about 15. So if I get 10 from question 1, added to my 15, 25. How many more do I have to pass? 25. And I can get 25 from the other chapter, other questions. Yeah, even if I should get 8 here, plus 15, 23. How many more do I have left to pass? I need 27. Can't I get, so for only 2 questions, I'm getting 27, 23, right? For only 2, I'm getting 23. But the other 3 questions, they can give me more than 27. So please, that's how you have to approach it. Otherwise, you'd sit there and you'll be like, it's not difficult. The difficulty is you dedicating the time and going by the format. That's the difficulty. If you go by the format, PSA is nothing. In fact, you see PSA like a past question because all the calculable or computational aspect the lecturer solved, you solved all of them. You solved all of them. So if you see, that's how some exams appear to me. When I see the exam question, I see like a past question because I solved a lot of past questions. How did I solve past questions? All the examples the lecturer has solved, I solved all. So when I meet the question, I look at it as a past question. So I don't see that it has a control over me. I don't see that it has a control over me because I've solved similar questions. All that I need is put down the format, put in your figures, then make sure you touch all the 5, everything under the 5, then you go. That's how it is. So as the examiner is saying that there's inadequate, this is true. The students, some that they go to the exams with their own expectations of which questions are going to feature. So, why would you be thinking that? The thing they said is a format. They said here, coverage area in the syllabus, where they'll pick, and they've given us the question numbers: question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. Are you getting it? I even asked someone who did ACCA, that ACCA, do you have exam format? He said no, and I said, hey, then how do you people write your exams? Then it means that ACCA might be quite difficult than ICU. Because ICU, they give me areas, so why will I fail? If the ACCA, they are not giving format and it's online based, then that one will be quite difficult. Because I don't feel ICA is difficult. Only that it's a lot, but it's not difficult. Because they've given me the clue that these are the areas which are coming to question 1. So go and read on them and practice on them. That's all. You'll be fine. The same applies to here. When you are giving the questions, don't read all the ground. 15 minutes, you read all the requirements. Then you can spend, if there's more time, quickly, if there's more time, don't bother to read anything. Just read the requirement. Don't read the case studies. You don't have time. Then if there's more time left, after reviewing all the requirements within the 15 minutes, you go and study the question one. Go and study the question one, read it, debit, credit, this, bank, this. Quickly, you just be running through them. Come and read the additional information, right? And look at where the difficult part is. Maybe the difficult part is Ivy, because that one you can think heaven and earth. You not even get it. Then you mark it down. This one, I'll not touch it. Or I'll just write anything. That one, you made up your mind. So when you start the question, you know what you are doing. And I'll teach you the approach. It'll be easier for you. And please, you have to speed up your writing. So that if you touch all the five, they can never fail you. They'll give you 50%. If you touch all the five and you get 48, they'll give you 50%. That's the secret. If you're able to touch all the five, you touch every question and they were wrong, blah, blah, they will give you 50%. That you should pass and go. That's what we'll do. Right? You're able to touch all the five, and even you made it wrong, and there's no way you can touch all the five, and they will cause you to come and reset. Never. It'll never happen. You have to touch all the five. And I've showed you the technique. First, when the paper is placed before us, we read the requirements for all of them. Go and read all the requirements, because if you can solve the question, it's reliant upon the requirement, what the requirement is saying. Then we will link the solution in the solution to the requirement, right? We'll link it to the scenario, right? So let's say here, this is question 2. Then let me use this example. Here. Explain 3 key objectives of an orderly and public financial management. So when I'm stating the 3 key objectives, I'll be linking it to this. That's it. There's a requirement. So when I'm giving the answer, which is the solution, I'll link it to the scenario, which is this. So that's when I'm solving the question, when I'm actually solving the question 3, that is when I'll come and read what is here. But for the first 15 minutes, only requirements. You read all the requirements. When you are done, there will be time left. You can even use 5 minutes to read all the requirements. Then you can spend another 5 minutes to read the financial statements preparation. This one, question 1. Read from the beginning to the end. Read everything. Write your notes down, everything. Then when you are done, you come down. The next 5, you come and look at the standards, which will be quite boring. Or you come and then read the question 5. The question 5 are theories. You just come and read on them. I think when I first started with question 5, because they were theories. You just come and read on the question 5 and write your answers against them. When they say start work, you know you are starting with question 5, or you know you are starting with question 4, or you know you're starting with this. If it is ratios, you are good to go. The same accounting ratios. The same accounting ratios. The same accounting ratios. You write a report, the same like FR. You write a report, the same thing. Even this one is easy, very easy. The same thing. It's let me look at the marks. 20 marks. I'll do something and get 15 marks. I'll do my best and get 15 or 12. And you have to do it very, very quickly. So, for example, when you go in there is ratios, you can begin with ratios first. Then we proceed to question 1 is always last. So make sure you're able to work quickly and get to the question 1. Otherwise, if you lose question 1, you lose them. They will not pass you, because they will say that they cannot pass you on others, whereas you cannot even prepare financial statements. If you lose the question 1, they will not pass you, because it's 20 marks. So can start with the question 5. If there's ratios, go and touch on ratios. And this one too, this DC, I've forgotten the name. The PEFA assessment. There are some techniques. When you start, I'll take you through. Take them through. Then quickly, even if you've not finished the other ones, the portions of the question 1, you solved B, you've not done E, you solved this, not done this, just go and do the question 1, which is the last one. So make sure you get to the last question 1. You start it. When you finish the question 1, then you come back. If the question 4 was your first question, you were able to solve the B, you didn't do the A, come and now be thinking about how to go about the A. If it is this, you now be thinking about how to go about this. Then the blanks, you start filling them, because for now, you've touched all the 5. So you are coming back to refresh. You are coming back to do the filling the gap for the other ones. Because you know that the first, all those you've touched, you can do well. But the other 5, the other fillings, it's up to you and the examiner. You are just going to write something for the examiner. And please don't leave blanks. So don't leave blanks. Write something. Don't leave blanks. Just write something. Just write something. Okay. Any other? Is there any other thing else to discuss? We are done.
Please, with the numbering of the questions, when you were talking, you said, when you start one particular question, and then maybe you write the A and then you don't know the B, you can leave a space and then move to the next question. Normally, I don't do it like that. I don't know if that's part of the reasons why not passing. Sometimes maybe I'll do
Yeah. Hey, how do
question
you do
one,
it?
and then sometimes maybe I'll do question 2A, and then maybe I don't know the B. So maybe I'll do question 3A, and then I'll just mixing it up. But I always make sure I write the question numbers.
So watch. Let's say we have question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5. And I said do question 1 last because it takes a lot of time. So let's say
Okay.
question 3. This is A and B, A and B, A and B, A and B. So let's answer with question 3. So question 3, I can do A. I finish the A. This is how it's written in the exams. Question 3, I write here A. This is the margin. Now finish my A. The B, Charlie, me, I me show me also because my mind is hot. So I can leave the B here, all these pages and this, depending on the number of questions. Let's say it's 10 marks. I can leave here in all this page for the
Okay.
B. Now come here, question, let's say I've done question 3. The next one I can solve is question 5. So question 5, I can solve the B, right?
Okay.
So question 5 here, I can solve the B. So question 5. Then I come and write a B. Maybe it's A and B. I finish all the B. I finish everything. Then I realize that, oh, the A cries disturbing me. Like the thought is not flowing. Then I'll leave the A. I'll depend on the number of questions, the marking scheme, the scores are located or the marks are located. If the marks is like 10 and I feel they said explain 5 marks and I have to write and interpret 1.5 page. Let's say the question B took 1 page. The A will take this 1 page. A will take 2 pages. I'll give 2 pages to A. The question 5A and
Okay.
I'll leave it. And I'll leave it. Then I'll come here to, so I've done question 4 and question 4 is the next one. Question 4, I can solve the B. If let's say question 4 is ABC, let's say question 4 is ABC. And I can solve the C and B. So the B will come first. The A, the C will come second. Then the A, I can't solve the, I don't remember. So I'll finish this question 4. I'll leave this one, a full page for the A. Now move to the next question, a full page for the A. I move to the next question. So I've done question 3, 5, and 4. Then the next one,
Yeah.
what you want is next question 1. Question 2, I'm here. Question 2, I can solve the A and the B. The B is problem. I can solve it, but I have to think. I don't have time. I'll just leave the B. 1 page, depending on the number of questions. 1 page, jump and go to question 1. Jump and go to question
Okay.
1. And how do I know I'm moving from here to here? Within the 15 minutes, I've marked the question I'm solving, number 1. So question 4, I'll write my number 1. Let's see if it is this question. Question 3, I'll write on my question part. This is question 2. This is my question 2.
Okay.
I've written. So the 15 minutes is it's your strategy. You are not devising your strategy. This is question 1. I'll solve question 1. Then when it comes to question 5, which question 5? This is my question 3. So I've written it on my question paper that this, maybe it says start work. I'm beginning with question 1. This is my question. This is my question 2. This is my question 3. This is my question 2. Where is question 4? Well, question 1, question 2, question 3. Hey, where is it? So 3, 1, 2, 4. This is my question 4. Then the statements is my question 5. So basically it says start
Okay.
work. I'm just going with the first one. So I'm not waiting for them to say start work. I'm reading the 15 minutes, I'm finishing it fully. Even if I've finished reading all the requirements, I have to go and read the statement. I'll be reading through the statement very quickly. Now, I'm not answering the question. I'm just glancing through, right? I'm actually skimming so that I'll quickly grasp the whole concept surrounding the statement. I'll read through quickly. After I finish, I have time. I'll write down some notes. Those I can answer or those I can answer. I just mark them so that they don't waste my time. Then after that, I come to the question one I'll begin with. Then I'll start writing the solutions against the question one, the response against the question one, the ratios. I'll start writing the formulas against them quickly. Before immediately say start work, I'll stop everything, then come and start with the question one, right? Then you go by this approach. So the
Yeah.
last one is question one. Question one, I just start. I have an acronym for all of them. So I just write the acronym on the question paper. Look on and I'll prepare the statement. Be looking at prepare the statement. Be looking at prepare the statement. That's it. I'll show you another method. I don't know which method the lecturer is using, but I'll also add what I know. Are you okay?
Okay. Yes.
If you go by this method, you touch all the 5 questions. So when you're done with the question one, which requires a lot of work, then you come back. Then when you come back, you now be going through those you left blank. Remember, standard is question two. It has 35 marks, like like
Hmm.
like CR, like PSC. Sorry, like CR and FR. It's all about 35 marks, 35% marks, or 30 or 25 or so marks, or 30 marks. Yeah. So just have to pay attention to that. Standards, you cannot afford to fail here. So here, even if you don't do well for all the 30 marks, you get about 15, you are good to go. And it's not about getting the right answer, it's about the steps. So we cannot
Yeah.
afford to lose marks there. Anything, yeah. You will be able to touch all the 5 marks. Then you come back and then you'll be going through where the difficulties are. Take your time, take your time. In fact, when I was writing PSA, I finished before the time ended. The time was, I think I finished before 15 minutes before the time. That's how I did it. 15 minutes before the time. I touched everything. I just 15 minutes going to the question. And that was the one last night I did. I
Oh,
finished 15 minutes before the time. The 15 minutes which was left, I was able to read through all my work. Even sometimes the way I write fast, I couldn't even see what I was writing. I couldn't even read what I was writing. Yeah. So I had enough time left to be reading through my work again, and I was canceling and writing some of the words which out of a hurry, I wrote it somewhere. That's it. You can do it. You can do it.
oh,
So whenever the lecturer solves the calculation questions with you, what you need to do is pick the same questions. So, for example, the 3-stage approach I spoke about, 1, 2, 3. The first one, you go slow because you are trying to read a question, look at how the examiner solved it. Then you also be copying and pasting. Oh, he did it this way. Now you write. He did it that way, you wrote it. He did it that way, you write it. He wrote it this way, you also write it. Question 2 is when you try to solve the same question on your own. Then when you get stuck somewhere, you go and refer to his work, then come and continue. The question 3 is this time around, you've seen how he did it. So you are solving all the same question on your own without referencing his solution. So you do it, when you finish, you go and mark. So that one, it can be quite slow because you need to master the format. But the last stage, the 4, this is where you solve the same question again for the 4th time. This time around, you speed up. Because this way you can develop the height, you speed up. Somebody might choose to go to just 3 steps, you'll be okay. Right? So this time you solve it again, you speed up. Now, speeding up, you don't refer to a solution. You just finish it quickly. Then when you finish, you go and check. If you're able to complete the format, you are good to go. That's all that is needed. If you're able to complete
okay.
the format and placing the values, that's all. Because the question he has solved with us, the examiners for the ICA for the diet will not ask the same questions, but they will ask surrounding or they ask principles surrounding those questions. If there was an IFRS 16 in the additional information, in the exam, they will not bring IFRS 16, they can bring IS 16. In the other, they can bring, what's the name, IFRS 9. So, but the whole thing is I've been able to master how I can write the format quickly and post the values. That's the main thing. That's all. I'm able to master the format quickly and able to post the values. That's it. So in exams, when I see it, I know lecture pick this, I write it. Even for posting alone, posting and the format alone, I'll get some marks there. If it's 20 and I get 8 marks. And the other ones, I work hard. I will just pass. I'll pass. Please, are we good?
Yeah.
Please, any other question? You pass. Just go by this. You one touch, you finish it, you pass it. But please don't wait till October before you start serious study. Otherwise, you will not pass. And I've given the example of the MBA, some of the MBA students for you to see. They wait till exams is next month, right? Even this, I did not start studying. When it is the last week of this month, whereas exams is next month, that's when you start studying. Because for the MBA, they have a whole month to write the paper. They have the whole month to write the paper. Not ICA where we have only 1 week to finish the paper. I get it. So I'll give you some example. Though if you want to wait till October, no, you know that you will fail. So the best is start from September. Or the whole of August, you can just be following the lectures. Then when you start in September, you start revising all the lecture was teaching in September. So you just be revising from there, coming back, coming forward. You know the calculation topics. Because the
Yeah.
grammar, you can just read the lecture note to understand. If you don't understand, use it. But the calculation, pick the same questions of the lecture and solve them again. Pick the same questions and solve them. And that's it. You'll be okay. And in the exams,
Okay.
or when you venture the exam, so you know the areas which are coming for each question. You already have them in mind because you've covered the syllabus. It says inadequate coverage of the syllabus. This disease, you've healed yourself of this. You've cured yourself of this. So you are not part of these people because you've covered the syllabus entirely. You know which question is coming from where. I getting it. You've already healed yourself. You have an antidote against that. You see the same thing. You repeated it. This November 2024. Limited coverage of syllables. They don't pay attention to the format. If they should pay attention to the format, oh please. One touch, you pass and go. It's just the format. See. And poor time management. They don't know how to organize their oh, I they don't know how to organize their work. Poor time management. They don't write speedily. They will just be that's it. Yes, sir, boss, please. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm
whilst we're
listening.
talking, I was trying to get the same syllabus for other courses I've registered to write, and I'm not able to get it on the page. I don't know if you can help us with it. CR in
Okay,
particular
okay.
and taxation.
Okay, I'll share it with you.
Thank you.
I'll share it with you. You pass. You can, if you have time, you can just combine all the three. Just go by format. You pass. You pass easily. Just once, you pass all the three. You pass. I'll send them to you. You pass very easy. So I have a video on CR when I met the CR candidates and the ATAX. I also share it with you. I have groups for them anyway. I have groups for the MA, CR, ATAX, AA. I have groups for the study groups for all of them. Okay.
Okay.
So please,
Okay.
you pass. You just go by format and see, and stick to the format. You pass because it's the same question the examiner is repeating here. Limited coverage of syllabus. They don't cover. They just know that this side will come. I get it. So they just go. They don't even know which areas will feature. So when we go to the exam, they're like, I was expecting they didn't feature. I was like, why do you expect something to come? Just prepare for everything, and you know that question two, these areas will come. Question two, these are the areas which can feature in question two. You know them by heart. So when you go and see them, you go and see them at the paper, and any false, you're like, oh, I was expecting this because you know it's from the syllabus. And the examiner is saying that there's a limit. They don't cover the syllabus. They just prepare. The lecturers can cover all the syllabus, but the students' duty to sit down and also cover the syllabus on his or her own, the student will not do it. But the lecturer will cover everything. So the student's duty will be pick the format, start reading. Wherever there's a calculation, they said it's a calculation, like preparation of financial statements. Go and pick the same question the lecturer solved with you in the class. If you didn't understand it when he was teaching, there's a recorder session. Go and play the recorder session and listen to it again and watch it again till you can solve it on your own. Don't move on. Because what if you go and a similar question is featured? Intervention also, he will solve past questions. So you cannot afford to lose or miss the intervention. And the intervention questions, you have to be able to solve them on your own. That's it. You'll be able to solve the questions he solved whilst teaching during the normal lectures, which are all past questions. You're able to solve the intervention questions, which are also past questions, which follows after the structure of the exam. What else have we to lose? When you go to the exam, the same similar format, sample format, which will be there. You will be able to finish it. Please, are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you pass. You pass. Just go by this. As I said, I never did PSA. It was ICI I got to hear about PSA. And just once, and I got 67%. Just once, and I'm showing you how I did it. And you can pass it. I even wrote 2 papers. I think I wrote this in ME. Just look at how MA is difficult. So I wrote this in ME. I passed 67 for PSA. MA, I got 58. The way it was difficult. And it's always difficult. So you can pass. You can just stick to this. You pass. And I finished 15 minutes before time. Meaning it was very easy for me. Because the way I have studied, I'll search for the formats and I'll show it to you. The way I've marked the format and written notes against them, acronyms and this and this and this. And I start October before I enter into November. I start October for all the papers I'm writing. I getting it. So you can pass. It's not, and you've seen what the lecturer was saying. They are always not ready for it. They don't cover the syllabus. This March, just this year's March, and this is November when they first started it. I can bring July, the same thing, because that's what the lecturer was. The examiner say Icag, past questions and answers. The same thing. You say the same thing. They don't have a good time management. Let's pick July 2025. I'm picking only 2024, 2026 because 2024, 2026 because that's when the syllabus began. Because these questions are structured according to the syllabus. Let's see. The same thing. The same thing. They don't cover the syllabus. That's what they are feeling. And the portal, like the way we're talking about the time, start this, go here, they don't know that. So they are failing. They are failing. If you cover the syllabus, you get your time, please, you pass. Because after all, we need only 50% to pass. We don't need so much. We need 50%. And you pass. If you touch all the 5, they'll pass you. They will never fail you. They will touch all the 5, they will never fail. They will pass you. They will pass you. Okay. So please, is there any other thing else? Okay. If there's none, it's very late. It's 11:25. Please. So have a very good night. We'll continue keeping in touch in the group.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing, sir. I'm also doing FR, and you know FR is on Monday. We have the main class on Monday, so I'd rather we do the group studies maybe Tuesday, if that's okay.
Okay. Let me stop the recording.